because my friend Kendrick Uy from Travel and Live Free interviewed me about my adventure travel to 101 UN countries. I really enjoyed his style of interview. Because we're friends, we had a really easy rapport, and I was able to relive some of my most adventurous stories from traveling for so long. But this week we're back with Monday, Mondays, money. Thanks again to a friend for gifting me these hyperinflation bills with lots of nils. Have my trusty glove in case for some reason I need it. But we'll start with the unpackaging. Ugh. I think this one is just a sticky that I can easily lift. Yes, it is. Again, one of these days I'll have to hook up the Zoom mic for the tingly ASMR sounds of unboxing. Ugh. Okay, what should I start with? What should I start with? These. I think these seem to be in a more accessible pouch here. Inflation. This is a good postcard / picture of what inflation is. Okay. So I will glove up because all of the notes are in the same pouch, which means each note would be otherwise subject to my grubby hands. Okay. Maybe we'll start with an explanation of inflation. Inflation happens when a bill with many nils or zeros is worth relatively little. In previous installments, I explained that the bill with the most zeros in the world was the Zimbabwe $100 trillion bill. These sets of hyperinflation notes are also bills with many zeros. all out of circulation now. You'll start from the back. This is 1 milliard from Budapest, Hungary. Budapest is an interesting city that's actually split in the middle with the river Danube into Buda and Pest. A popular tourist attraction is cruise on that Danube River at nighttime, where the glowing copy of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge comes into view. I'll be right back. We're actually going to double glove it today. Oof. Does anyone recognize the lettering on this bill? In my first installment, we had a coin with this same lettering, which is Arabic. Luckily for us, this bill actually identifies the country of Afghanistan. 10,000 Afghanis, or 10,000 Afghan clothing. Here's the thing. Zimbabwe's hyperinflation situation is the most well-known because of that most number of zeros on a single bill, the $100 trillion bill. But hyperinflation is a well-known phenomenon, and we'll just have to trust that the bills curated in this collection represent hyperinflation situations that were known in history. Budapest in Hungary, I've traveled to before. Afghanistan is a country that I'm looking forward to in the future. When this fucking pandemic leaves us alone. The country I returned from 6 months ago during the pandemic was Turkey. I've shown Turkish currency before, so this man looks familiar. He's obviously a famous figure in Turkish history. Maybe I'm just nostalgic for travel, but I'm thinking again about my epic hot air balloon ride over the lunar landscapes of Cappadocia in Turkey. Those weird, wonderful rocks in Cappadocia are otherworldly. I've never seen anything like them. In fact, they're nicknamed fairy chimneys, or more crudely, penis rocks. If you search up penis rocks Turkey, you'll understand exactly why they're called such. Polite people call that area Love Valley. I'm ashamed that this building on the back, I've no clue what it is, despite being in Turkey for many weeks. As I've documented before, that trip was cut short by the pandemic. But because it was my most recent trip, the sights, sounds, smells, tastes are all fresh in my mind. I especially recall the spicy peppers that many a Turkish people subjected me to, that actually temporarily masked my sense of smell. This bill also reminds me that I was lucky enough to hear an ancient instrument from Turkey that only a few handful of people know how to play. One of these days, if my lazy ass gets around to it, I'll post that exclusive content, because the instrument player is also the owner of an exclusive, real deal cave hotel in remote Cappadocia, not in accessible touristy gourmet. Yugoslavia is a now defunct consortium of Eastern European countries. At one point, I probably would have been able to identify all of them. Should I even risk it? Because I know I'm gonna fuck it up. Okay, we'll leave it as B. What I do know is I have indeed visited all of Yugoslavia's now current countries. Oh, I almost want to go out on a limb and list them, but I'm going to be reserved. I'm gonna be reserved. I think double gloves make the handling of the bills much easier. Yes. Okay. I have the confirmation I need to confirm that this is probably the central building in Belgrade, Serbia. That looks like it, but to be fair, this type of architecture is widely standing in Eastern Europe, but I'll assume that this means Belgrade. I try my best to be as accurate as possible with my information, but as I've done throughout this entire series of Money Mondays, I'm mining my own mind for information instead of relying on the Googles, because that's just how I like to do this. This is live unboxing, and live unboxing means that I rely on my own information in my brain. Okay. Croatia is a Game of Thrones fan favorite. The natural landscapes mixed with large sweeping castles and walls makes the city of Dubrovnik, Croatia, a natural studio for a Games of Thrones type show. I've vlogged live from those Games of Thrones sets. In HD with a stabilized gimbal. That was actually the first set of vlogs where I really thought to myself, I've become a filmmaker. An amateur, rough one, but one nonetheless. we're lucky that these are actually all uncirculated, out of circulation bills. So the distinction is that these bills have never been used as normal cash from human to human. They've basically been set aside as collector items. They're still legal tender, except for the fact that they're out of circulation, so they can't be used anymore. So maybe legal tender is the wrong term to use. They were once legal tender, and now they're collector's items. Bolivia is well known for salt flats, but I'm going to throw a thumbs up to Turkey, because Pamukkale's salt flats, I think, are highly underrated compared to Bolivia. Now, I've yet to explore Bolivia's salt flats, but Turkey's, I was lucky enough to see all on my own, all to myself, because I traveled at the tail end of when Turkey was looking to maybe shut down. The normally busy pools of Pamukkale were pristine without so many people. And I tried to capture them the way people do the Bolivia salt flats, but I concentrated more on the beauty and natural wonder of those flats rather than just funny poses, because funny poses are less my thing. I'm a comedic person overall, but